Coming up tonight in the UK, Scotland news, the big lion news, it's Baroness Harrier Minion and oh damn Scotland's bolting. Coming to you from here at the Northern Lights and Northern Outpost, North Britain Outpost. It's not very good news at the minute, I'm afraid, but it's just how it goes. We might have to be going doing a special and taking it to interplanetary soon. We might need to use where Trump cared. No, where Trump, no Donald Trump. I know he's in another world, but he's still on this planet. Unfortunately, there's a pity. But anyway. Coming up in this chat, it's been arts programme. It's called TweetStreet Scotland Occupied. Satirical satire or something, but we call it chats with Dan. It's in the studio here. I coming up on that shortly. Then it's a politics special. Brainer Rennie was supposed to be introducing it, but don't know what's happened to him. Never showed. I think everybody's having a tough one now. He's getting right into this chat with that. It's Brainer Rennie, so yes. But anyway, coming up on chats with arts, it's players on the Pannell, Dr. Peter on call at TweetStreet Occupied Scotland. Now apparently, I don't know about this, but apparently, featuring Baroness Harrier Minion, Union Minion for Maury, wee Doug, he's having a fucking shocker. He's having an absolute fucking shocker. I was on Facebook Live the other day talking to not talking to anybody, just telling everybody my cock smell, my cock smell, my cock smell. Know what I mean? Know what I mean? The old ones like Mike Hunt, no, the soft ones, he's fucked, he's finished. You'll be lucky to get fucking 6 of me. Aye, fuck this stupid claim, putting him in charge. But anyway, that's just how it goes. You know what he just like, he picks his own folk. I mean, that's how it goes. He's both us, so what can we say? Can't say fuck all, to be fair. Anyway, you can't Scotland news is on. And the big lion news, at least they're covering that. Oh, damn Scotland bolting on. I'm on it. I might actually give that a watch. This chats for that. Chats with Pete Nats and Brainer Rennie. As I say, Brainer Rennie's no showed up. Aye, so aye, that's that. Aye, as I say, it's not looking good. Not looking good for this union, to be fair. But good thing about me is I'm Scottish anyway. I've just been bought, right? So I might change it back. Don't know how it goes, you know what I mean? Because Brexit fucked it down there, to be fair. So it's just how it goes. Right, I think I'll put a camera on now and start. Right. Welcome to UK Scotland news. The big lie news. Oh damn, Scotland's bolting. And this is Baroness Harrier Minion. Coming up tonight on UK Scotland news and the big lie news with Baroness Harrier Minion and oh damn, Scotland's bolting. We'll have Brainer Rennie introducing chat with Nats. That's coming up shortly, and it's introducing political Nats, I know, or political wannabes. No chance, man. Just get airmen. Just be a unionist and get airmen for free. There's a song in there, but that's for later in the show. But anyway, aye, so we'll be speaking to, you know who they are, ISP candidates, ISP, the Internet Service Providing Party. No, I don't know. ISP, I think. Independent for Scotland Party, Independent Socialist. It's independent, it's ISP, it's a nat, you know what I mean? It's a nat, I don't care. Right, anyway, that's just coming up. And it'll be Julia on the panel and Dr. Peter, ISP, believe it or not. Right, so join us later. That's what's coming up. Sorry, that's what's coming up later, and I'm all confuffled. Aye. Oh, ever since that Union Minion for Murray wee dog, oh, he's having a nightmare, so he is an absolute nightmare. Aye. Well, we'll never guess what he's done now. Right, this is Stilton. Aye, well, what he's done now is he was doing a Facebook Live, right? And somebody's caught my cracker, and he ended up saying, "My cock smell." That's what he says, right? Basically, right? And there's no coming back for that. He's fucked. Even, but he's not even getting in on the list now. He's fucked. I can't bring myself to tell him. I can't. But anyway, right, so let's get back to this bit here. Let's start recording again. I'll get this button. I just said, that's what's coming up. Oh, damn, Scotland's Bolton will be along in a wee minute. Thanks very much. Oh, damn, Scotland's Bolton. The kind of Scotland news and the big line news. We're going to be that's when that's soon enough, and that will be getting uploaded. It's really a Pannell for the ISP and Dr. Peter Ashby for the ISP. So I hope you don't enjoy that. Why do you always avoid the tough questions? You don't have answered any tough questions. Michael, Kevin, Oxnell, Maury. You're all the time for this. You stand on the list as well. You won't even run for election. Difficult Tory behaviour. You're going to be a I'm trying to take in prescription. Anyway. Oh, welcome along to TweetStreet Occupied Scotland, or TweetStreet Scotland Occupied. I'm Simon Bridges, aka Peter. With me this evening, I've got my co-host JB Whitesnake. Hi John, how you doing?
Not bad, Peter. How's yourself?
Excellent as always. Thank you very much, mate. Our two guests this evening are from ISP, the hopefuls for the ISP party, political hopefuls for the ISP party. Sorry, a wee bit of tongue twister there. First of all, Julia Pannell, or Pannell. How is it you pronounce it, Julia? Sorry.
Pannell. It's Pannell.
Pannell. Hi there. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Don't know what to expect, but it goes.
Excellent. And also we have, given his full title, it's Dr. Peter Ashby of the ISP party. Again, another tongue twister. Hi, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
I'm going to pass it all over to JB now to take up the mantle, and I'll be back with you in a jiffy. JB, over to you, mate.
Thank you, Julia. Peter, thank you for joining us tonight. I really appreciate that. Can we start off with yourself, Julia? Can we ask you what area actually is you're going to be covering if you were successful as a candidate, please? What area?
Well, what in like committee and that?
No, sorry, geographical area. I should have said.
Oh, geographical. Sorry, yeah. Geographical. Yeah. Northeast Scotland. Yeah. So from Dundee up to north of Aberdeen and across to a large part of Murray as well. So
right, that is a big area then, eh?
Yeah, it is.
Huge area. Yeah. And what about yourself, sir? What area are you covering?
Same.
Is it same area?
Yeah, we're both in the northeast. Yes.
Oh, right, okay. And how have you found it? So I know it's only we're getting into the first day of it, but what's actually been done so far on your part? We'll start with you, Julia.
What's actually been done?
Yeah, as in gearing up for getting into an election campaign.
Well, it's all been a bit of a learning curve for me. I didn't even have Facebook and Twitter before this began, so I'm kind of finding my way with that at the minute.
Well, you're doing well.
Well, I didn't have Zoom either before December, so if I suddenly disappear, you'll know why. Yeah, it's a bit of a learning curve, and we're just getting into like trying to arrange a crowdfunder now. That's the next thing, I think. But there's always somewhere else to go with it. We're always having to. The biggest problem we have is everybody says, "Oh, I've never heard of the ISP." So that's the big thing we're going to have to overcome.
Right.
So.
And you're going to get political airtime on the television, just like any other party would, I presume.
Oh, I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah, that's not our brief. We have marketing people who handle that.
Right. I would hope you would get the same sort of time as anyone else, whether it be SNP, Labour, or anyone else, really. And I thought you'd have been entitled to the same as that.
No, I don't think so. I think we get one, but it's done by the number of seats you hold. So aspirant parties just get one or two maximum.
Right. Julia, can you tell us something about what sort of socialist policies you would be looking to adopt if you're a successful candidate?
Well, first one, universal basic income, definitely. I think that's been shown by the pandemic. Looking to improve the healthcare system, particularly the social care system. I would actually like it to be nationalised.
Good point.
That's quite ISP policy yet, but it's going to be reviewed anyway, and hopefully nationalise it and make it not for profit, not for private profit. What other sorts of.
Can I ask you something, Julia? This is Baroness Harrier Minion for the UCANI Scotland News and the Big Lie News. Now, we're working in conjunction with Damn Scotland's Bolton at the Big Lie News. It's like Tory and Labour have been for years, you know, in conjunction to stop Scotland from becoming independent. What's your views on independence, if I don't mind me asking?
Well, I think it would be best for Scotland. I think Scotland needs independence, and that's what we will be working for. We would like this to be a plebiscite election. That kind of depends on other parties as well, but from our point of view, it's going to be a plebiscite on Scottish independence, and hopefully we'll get MSPs elected, and we'll keep the SNP to their promise, which was to hold a referendum. Although that seems to be receding down the road, but we will keep the fire on that.
So there's no chance they can ever try to bribe you with a wee bit of airmen and things like that, the way they done with me, a wee bit of airmen to get in there and just kind of stick with the right things up? No?
No, I don't think, I don't think so. No, not for bribing.
Thanks very much, Terry. Back to yourself again, John.
Peter, can I ask you, you tell me what independence means to you as an individual and as a prospective MSP.
I'm not in it for what independence can do for me, apart from a passport. I just want a Scottish passport. I want independence because it'll be good for Scotland. It's as simple as that. And we need it as soon as possible. Westminster is going to try and clip our Parliament's wings. It's already starting to bypass Westminster. Sorry, I'm Holyrood in terms of funding and things, and that's just going to get worse and worse. So the longer we wait, the harder it will be to become independent. I think that's it now.
I think that's a frustration for a lot of people because they see we've got an SNP government at the moment, but they seem they don't seem in much of a rush to push it down the roads, and being polite about that, but Westminster are legislating like crazy at the moment, and we are not, and then we get told this isn't the time to legislate for an independence referendum, but they're legislating for everything under the sun at the moment, and it seems crazy that we seem to be sort of jogging along and not getting in the race at the moment, but that's something we need to look at. Peter, you have something to say there, Peter?
Doctor, just to come in there, this is Adam, Scotland's Bolton here for the Big Lion News, working in conjunction with UCANN Scotland News and Baroness area and Minion and that. Now you're a doctor, you seem like a sensible person. Is there no way we can get you maybe onto a television show as a bribe or something like that to stop you if we try to go against our union and stop you for leaving and being independent, because we don't want you Bolton and that, because we live off you and that. Is there any chance we can put you in a wee bit here? Okay.
No.
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 We'll give you 5% instead of 4.
I mean, we'll save some money because we only gave 1% to the NHS down the road and that, and they're giving away 4% up. But I mean,
4% is better than nothing, but it's still not enough. I appreciate that Holyrood's not got a lot of money. I mean, it's not like Westminster who can just print money. So their hands are tied, and yes, it's better than Westminster. It's an example of why we need independence.
I can't argue against that. Wait a minute. I can't argue against that. You need to come from my side. You need to come from your union side here. Right, let's just cut here, and we'll go to somewhere else. And you just carry on with your broadcast. We're going back to yours. All right. Thanks very much for that.
It seems to be disappeared for a minute there. Can you both tell me what sort of feedback you've had from colleagues and family members that have been putting yourself up for this? And I don't mean this interview, I mean standing as candidates. You feel you're getting support with it, or is it a bit of a frightening thing to do? Or
yeah, I volunteer at a charity shop, and all of my colleagues are supportive of me being a candidate. And
excellent.
It's just not a problem. But then I'm in Dundee, so this is the yes city. We're quite confident of getting quite a lot of votes in the yes city.
Right. What about yourself, Julia? You get your support, your family and friends and stuff like about you?
Yeah, they're very supportive. Yeah. But they're not so confident about success, but that's not personal. That's just the usual thing. It's a new party.
If you're both new to this challenge, like, have you been briefed by the ISP about how much time in the next 6 weeks? Like, is it going to be 7 days a week sort of thing? You're going to have to be trying to push it, or try to do some other things in between, or what? How is this going to pan out for you over the next 6 weeks?
Since it's the first time for both of us, we don't know the answer.
They haven't told us. They didn't tell us. They made us sign up first, and they didn't tell us. But yeah, we know we'll have to be available for things. It's we're both working, and so we have to work it around that. But yeah, we know there'll be a lot to do.
Challenging.
And could I speak to the doctor, please, again? Could I speak to the doctor? My name is Michael Kevin Oxmells. Michael Kevin Oxmells. Now, doctor, I was just wondering, I'm from Moray, right? And like, I was talking to another MP Hope the other day on Facebook Live. He never answered me. He never got back to me. But anyway, I was asking him, you'll maybe be able to tell me, do you get pegs on the NHS? Pegs. Well, if you take my middle name out and you shorten my first name, you know, it's like that guy that was hoping to be the first minister was saying on his Facebook Live. He called me. He used my full name. He used my friendly name, not my full name. He used my name, Mike Coxmells. You know, from Moray. I don't know if you noticed that on Facebook Live the other day. I was just wondering, like, I need to see a doctor because know my name. I'm
not a big Facebook person.
You get pegs on the NHS, like on a prescription. Can you get pegs on a prescription?
No.
Thanks very much. Right, I'll straight join. I'll pass you back. It's back to you again.
Can I ask you, Julia, what's your opinion of Brexit and what's happened so far?
Well, I have to confess I was a Leave voter, but I didn't vote for no.
Interesting.
I didn't vote for no deal, but and it's bad the way it's gone now. It's they've just sacrificed Scotland's agriculture and fisheries.
I mean,
so that's one of the things we need to try and
there was a chap I seen on Twitter there who's a fish processing business, and it's now costing him an extra £500 per delivery, including the paperwork on top of that, to try and get stuff to Europe. So it's just not a viable business anymore. And weird in Brexit did they say that? You know, it's just, I mean, even the people I feel sorry for the people that didn't vote for it, but I feel sorry for people that did vote for it as well, because they were totally misled. What about yourself, Peter? What's your thoughts on Brexit?
But I've come round to the ISP's policy, which is that we should join EFTA after independence, and then perhaps move to the EEA for a couple of reasons. One is the EU's budget constraints will make it difficult to build all the institutions and things that we need in independence. So we're better off not joining the EU straight off. And the other thing is, rather than going cap in hand to the EU and saying, please, Ursula von der Leyen, can we come in? Can we come in? We make them come to us and say, please come in, please join us, please join us. And then we will be negotiating from a position of strength instead of being a supplicant.
Interesting. This is Brainer Rennie from the Canny Scotland News political correspondent here. Now, I've got my finger right on the pulse of politics in Scotland, and I must admit, both of your names escape me at the minute, but I'll be doing my research when we get a new parliament here in Scotland. I believe that might be happening soon, and you're running for the parliament, is that correct? And that's to any one of you at the minute, actually.
Yes, we're running for the parliament.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That's excellent. I never believed that there would be a parliament in Scotland, you see. Thanks very much for your time today. You Canny Scotland News, the Big Line News, Brainer Rennie.
It still is at the moment.
Yep, thank you. Out for now.
Can I ask you, Julia, what do you think of the British media at present, their attitude towards Scotland?
Pretty much the same as always. It's just ignoring Scotland, or just the usual Scotland are subsidy junkies, and you know you'd never survive bankrupt. That's when that's when they speak about Scotland at all. It's not a precious family of nations. It's just treat Scotland with contempt. But then they won't let Scotland go either. So it's kind of, what do they really do?
Peter, what do you think?
Just contempt.
Oh, the British media are just a waste of time, basically. I've got less and less time for them because it's just not relevant. Most of it's not relevant to Scotland. And the coverage of Scotland is just execrable, really. It's not worth reading.
I don't know how much you've been... Yeah, I don't know how much you've been watching the media recently, the coverage against Scotland, but it's so dictatorial and it's appalling, and how they expect people to have any empathy with what they're broadcasting north of the border, apart from a few. I really don't understand how they think they can, but they're doing a job for their paymasters down south. So it'd be Rupert Murdoch or anyone else that's paying the bills. That's who the narrative comes from.
Partner in the union.
Yeah,
they're treated like a possession.
Exactly. And I don't know if you've seen that thing about the flags today. Culture Media Secretary basically saying flags have to be flown all over government buildings, and union flags to be given the superior position over any Scottish flag or Welsh flag. And of course, they didn't bring that dictate out in Ireland for obvious reasons, but they're doing it in Wales and Scotland, and it really is quite a poor way to run a country like. Peter, do you want to say something?
It'll just make it look like an occupied part of Scotland. That's all. That's how most people will see it, as an occupation. Right. And it'll be utterly counterproductive because it'll be in people's faces. It's an example of how so many of them at Westminster and unionists in England just do not get Scotland.
Yeah,
I have to agree with that.
It's like slapping the Union Jack over all the produce in the supermarket, although I have to say that Aldi is still holding out against it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Very
they're-
cynical. They're using supermarkets against us as they did in 2014 as well, though.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
the
good
first thing
line,
that
John.
springs to mind, what's a supermarket got to do with politics? But surprisingly much, sadly to say.
Aye,
Yeah.
it's a good link, John. To
My
be,
local
be fair.
co-op often has
Uh-huh.
the boil in the bag kippers remainders,
Yeah,
and that's
Right.
because they're from Devon.
they're Devon, right?
They're Devon kippers, and they're trying to sell them in Dundee. And
Good luck with
and
that.
surprisingly enough, they get remaindered. You know,
Wow.
talk about coals to Newcastle.
Uh-huh.
You know, people
Do
just will not buy
Uh-huh.
non-Scottish kippers in Scotland. And
Yeah,
the
yeah.
stupidity of trying to sell them is just
Well, they were given actually, if I remember right, they were given some sort of protected status not long ago. Abroad smokies and stuff like that. That's actually a trademark.
but I don't
Oh,
think
yes.
kippers-
Yeah. That's right, Kipper's right.
I'm not
Peter,
sure
what you saying?
Coming back in on the serious side, guys.
Yeah.
Now that all the characters are visited for the rest of the show, it'll be serious points that I'll be trying to raise as well with these. We've only got about 10 minutes left, but thanks very much for taking part, as you did do with the good spirit that you did. So I appreciate that. First thing I would like to ask, already, of what you've experienced already, were you, or did you think you were as prepared as what you could be going into the race for Holyrood on the 6th of May?
Yeah, well, yeah, you don't know what you're going to expect, but you know it's going to be probably a bit vicious as it goes on. You know, you have to just take the stuff and just ignore most of it. It's not because that they just want to get a rise out of you. You know, so it's best to just present our case and leave it at that. And I mean, often the biggest opposition we've got is SNP, which is ironic because we're trying to back up the SNP, and they're accusing us of spoiling their vote and that, you know, rather than they never say, well, actually, both votes SNP, let's say unionists. They never seem to see that or admit it. But somehow it's us that should step aside. Well, you know, that's not going to happen. So yeah, I expect it'll get.
Last election, no yes people got elected here in the Northeast. It was unionists across the board on the list because the SNP took all but one of the seats. This time they're likely to take all of the seats, which means they're even less likely to get a list seat because your list vote gets divided by the number of constituencies plus one, which is why and 745,000 SNP list votes last time elected nobody. Absolutely.
That's a fact.
So I'm saying to SNP voters, is your vote worth 1/10 of a vote for the ISP? A vote for the ISP will be worth one vote, whereas a vote for the SNP in the Northeast is worth 1/10 of a vote. That is a mathematical certainty.
But I think they don't understand how the voting system works as well, which is, you know, we've got that on our website, which explains it. You know, you could say, well, both votes SNP is a waste, but if once you see how the figures worked out last time, that makes it clear then. But most people still think they're going to get something out of it.
I think there's a lack of understanding on the people's part, like I mean voters' part, because I was saying to somebody, remember there's an election coming up in May, and I said, remember you get 2 votes, have we? What? And they're getting confused with a general election as opposed to a Scottish election. And I had to remind the person that you get 2 votes to cast, like,
This is an indictment on the SNP government.
Yeah.
And I grew up in New Zealand, hence my accent, although I was born in Scotland. And in New Zealand, the government informs the people through various things, ads and leaflets and things, about how the voting system works. They use a similar one, except they have a national list, not regional.
Yeah.
Here, the SNP government have vested interest in not informing people.
Yeah.
So that
I was speaking to somebody last week that said, oh, is there an election? It's on the 6th of May, isn't it? But they didn't know what it was for. They thought it was for the council. I didn't realise till last Sunday that we didn't have a census in Scotland this year, because I don't think that's been very well publicised for a year. You know, So it's
And yet
they're
there's
not,
showing adverts in the
British
telly saying
media,
you go to
though.
jail for not doing the census.
That's the problem with the
Ironically.
British media, because there are local elections in England on the May 6th.
That's right.
And that's what all the
Council, yeah.
media will be all about.
Yeah.
That's the problem with showing British news in Scotland, because it confuses people.
That is one of the strengths they have. I get that they use against Scotland, and then not just Scotland, but repeatedly against other nations that are smaller. They have a media machine that overruns most things, and that's something I learned in the run up to 2014. Hence the reason trying to do something like this, so that we've got an avenue everywhere to inform people that, well, wait a minute, these things are happening. This is how it's happening. This is where it's happening. Because sometimes people are getting starved of information. Politics isn't always the first thing on people's minds, although of late it seems to be forced to be the first thing on people's minds. So I think a lot more eyes are opening a lot quicker than what they were in the run up to 2014. John, what do you think?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I think people are, all the things that have been happening in Scotland with the sturgeon and salmon thing going on, and it was all over the press, the British press, the British media. They've really brought it to attention. But even James O'Brien says on the radio show, he's basically said that it's backfired on them, and it just really looks like it couldn't have went any better for Nicola Sturgeon. Basically, there's still plenty of presenters down south in England. There's a bit in the Telegraph this morning basically saying that Nicola Sturgeon is a Thatcherite, a pound shop Thatcherite. That was what the Telegraph was saying. And I thought, my God, I couldn't believe they're coming away with that sort of stuff. But that's also that's red meat to the Tories in England saying that. But that's their narrative to do that, and that's never going to change. We shouldn't expect any less. But to call Nicola Sturgeon a pound shop Thatcherite, that's a stretch and a half, like. That just shows you how vicious the media are down there. They just can't cope with popularity up here. And Scotland's a very different country. They don't want to accept that. They want us to be a county, not a country.
Aye, well, this is true. Final word to the guests for today. First of all, ladies first, if you don't mind, without being sexist, chauvinist, or whatever else. Julia, over to yourself.
Well, I hope we managed to get the word out about the ISP. I hope people watch this and at least find out about our policies. Our manifesto is officially launched. I think it's on the 3rd of April, but you can go on the website, find out our policies, which are progressive and to do with women's rights, and that we've got policies on everything lined up. So I hope you give us your vote on the list. We're not trying to harm the SNP, we're trying to supplement the SNP and make sure that we get independence for Scotland.
Good message, Julia. Thanks. Peter, over to you.
Just to remember people, voting for the ISP will deny unionists seats on the list. If you want to stop unionists getting seats, vote for the ISP. It's as simple as that.
Thanks very much, Peter. Thanks very much, Peter. Thanks very much, Julia. Thanks very much, John. That's it for Tweet Street Political Special. We will get this uploaded onto the YouTube channel as soon as the edit's been complete. Thanks very much for being good sports again, guys. I don't know what's coming up in the show. It's the usual let's go and stuff. So we just need to bet it first. Like North Korea, really need to make sure that everything's kind of all right, so that before anything goes out, they will embarrass us, you know. Aye, but that's it. That's it for you can't Scotland news. The big lie news. Oh damn, Scotland's voting. Please Baroness Area and Minion. Good night. I'm Charlie Claimer. My brother Craig will be along any minute. Hi, I'm Craig Claimer, and this is a wee song. For independence and that, so I was just thought we'd put a wee bit of music and that together before tea time. Just off the back of the news about flags and that. So hopefully you like the original and that. No, the original. So here we go, how we roll here. Altered than 5 million jacks. And he'll tear in 5 million more. And then we'll get another 10 million done as soon as we really fake the stairs. Oh, the jack's done. Oh, the jack's done. And then dun 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 dun. Oh, the jack's done. Oh, the jack's done. Dun 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 dun. Oh, the jack's done. Oh, the jack's done. Dun 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 dun. Oh, the jack's done. Oh, the jack's done. Dun 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 dun. We'll see yourself on that.